Buried by Time and Dust is a record label, and they did a reissue of a single I was always going to buy, but money just it didn't sort out with it. One of those ones, and I get pretty extravagant with this British heavy metal stuff, but it was one of those ones I couldn't justify the huge expenditure for it. Um, but it is this, and this is the repressing. So disclaimer: repressing, not the original. And it came in a package set, so it came with a poster and a vinyl reissue of a demo tape. And I'll cover that bit later. I thought about doing it as a set, but I'm really on the singles thing right now. So when I do the LP it came with, I'll link it back to this, just so everyone can be happy. Satan, Kiss of Death, B-sided with Heads Will Roll. The first Satan single, and memory serves me right, their only single. So, and this is again, this is one of the, original was one of the Guardian records. And Guardians command a higher price. It probably scarcely, I don't think they produce as many as Neat, but I could be wrong on that. And this comes from the Sessions, which made up their first demo tape. And also they had the songs Oppression and The Executioner, which was on the Rux Caliber comp. But yeah, those 4 songs made up the single in the comp. Where to take off with this? So we'll just do the aesthetics thing first, the presentation, the packaging. Because I'm really into that, the kind of design and the way things were done back in the day, because it was obviously done on a budget and not very much of a budget. And I love that the reproduction was faithful. They didn't fuck with it and try to make it some big 30th anniversary, super cool, expensive tinfoil wrapping motherfucker. The back is faithful to what I've seen from the originals. Again, I don't own one, but it'd be cool to kind of have an original one and put them down side by side and see where what was not right. But it looks pretty close. I love the details on this though, and I love kind of the snarky sarcasm these guys had. Not from the 5th Coming album. Let's Headbang. Oh, let's. And then what do we have up here? There's that bit about thanks to, no thanks to, and you are. And then, let's see. Is that, yeah, there's one I recorded. And, oh yeah. Yeah, there it is. For more bullshit about the band. Cool. Badass attitude. Graphic-wise on the label, they reproduced the original pretty close. Obviously, probably they don't own the Guardian logo. I think that's the British Steel label, but I could be wrong. I know they've done a lot of the British heavy metal reissues, but bust me on it, correct me, someone fill it in. But I love it's kind of the same color. We find out that Heads Will Roll, the B-side, is written by Steve Ramsey, and the A-side written by Russ Tippins, of course, Kiss of Death. And he too has a great solo act. You should check out, kind of a bluesy rock thing, traditional 60s, 70s rock. I know he has one album and some stuff he released probably about 10 years ago on the internet. But really good stuff, really solid. But Satan, so this is, and then Satan 2, before I forget, I think they also were as Pariah for an album. I could be wrong on that, I can't think off the top of my head. I know they're Blind Fury for a while, and then Ramsey and English. So they did the Skyclad thing. Ramsey and English did the Skyclad band. And that's pretty cool. I think they had a fiddler in that band, but I can't remember. But now that we've talked about that, let's go to actually the songs on the record, because it's the music that matters. Kiss of Death. Big wah pedal, cool, heavy riffs. I mean, take your rope from your executioner that's going to hang you and lineman splice it, because you're lassoing up a fucking brontosaurus with these riffs. I mean, it's just really cool, thrashy, awesome, heavy. And then the bridge does this kind of cool, almost Deep Purple-y thing with a bunch of wah going on. They're doing wah on the rhythm side. I think it's a B and an A chord, but again, I've had a couple beers. And a cool guitar solo. And then what I like about Heads Will Roll, and please no one execute me over this, is it does have a punk feel to it. It's a little bit punky. There's a drum fill, and it's just, I mean, it's executed in a metal cell, but it's got that punk attitude and just feel and vibe. Talking about the French Revolution, of course. Heads will roll as people fight for their right. We got to be free from the rich man's greed. Take them all to the guillotine across the bridges. Their heads will be seen. So really, overall, this is a classic record. And whether you get it with the Into the Fire reissue or you're a lucky enough bastard to have the original, it's a really good record. And I believe, too, fun fact here, break my chain of thought, that Steve Ramsey is probably still playing the same SG that I see in all these old photos. And then on the Live in the Act, Metal Nation did a while back. We'll get to that too. I have the CD and LP of that. So, but overall, it's a great single. And I know you're all going, oh, well, you say that with every record you review. And someday I'll come to one where I'll say it's not. It's good, but it's not great. But no, it's a great record. It's a great early proto-thrash. Before Megadeth, before Metallica, before all that stuff the kids know today. This was laying the groundwork to it. So, if you're out there on internet land, and there's probably no chance you are but hell, why not? I'm just some guy in his basement drinking beer and reviewing records. If you're out there on the internet and you're like 14 or 16, and you're like, yeah, Metallica, Megadeth, old school, check these guys out, because this is where it starts, and that's where that sound, that tone, that playing style, that feel, that's where it all comes from. That vocal style, you got Trev Robinson here on vocals and Andy Reid. Their only appearance, which, quick history here I'll catch on. Andy Reid and bust me around this, I don't remember, I think it was Brofest over in England this last year. Satan went and played, and of course they're currently playing with the Court in the Act lineup. So they got Brian Ross on vocals and Sean Taylor on drums. They went and played, and I believe they closed with either Kiss of Death or Heads of Roll. Again, I can't remember right now. They went and played, and they had him come up on stage and play, which was, he hadn't been with Satan for however many years. I mean, back 30-some years ago, 35 years maybe, 34. I guess this is in 80, 81, so many years ago. And that's cool that they did that. They had him play again and do that and be part of that. So, again, classic record. You can find out there, probably all over YouTube, live versions of the band. They still play this in their set list. They currently just wrapped up a North American tour here in the United States. But they still have this in their set list. It's on their, it's live on their, but their live North American tour CD that they did a couple of years back. The Live in the Act one that was recorded at the Dynamo Club in Holland back in 1983, November of 83. It's on there as well, which is great. There's a great version of this on that record. Not to dock the one that's on the new live album, but the one from back then. Just Brian Ross does a great job of following up on the bridge. It's a great piece, and his voice fits it well. And then, too, someone is going to ask or put in the comment, what about the Blitzkrieg in Holland record? Well, one, it's a bootleg, and two, I have a download of it, and even though it's a cool collectible piece, and I'd love to get a copy, but Christ, have you seen those prices? The sound quality is just not really there, and I'm not as familiar with that version, but I can tell you overall the band still pulls Kiss of Death off well, and this single, like I say, classic proto-thrash. It's I don't want to call it proto-thrash anymore, because this Kiss of Death is thrash metal. I mean, it's clear, established thrash metal at that point. It sounds like it, feels like it, and it's just this far away from being something you'd be like, oh, that's Megadeth. That's a Megadeth track that somehow didn't end up on Killing Is My Business. So with that, I'll let you guys all go. Satan, Kiss of Death, CW Heads of Roll, debut single, fucking cool logo, fucking cool music, fucking great record.